Thank God it's Friday. Hey there, Escolarians! What's up? Abby here, and this is CEU Friday Features.
Universidad Central.
CEU ka na, CEU ako.
For our episode 6, you will be with me, Abby, as one of the hosts of the show, to welcome our guest for tonight. For this episode, we will have a conversation with an Escolarian nurse from New Zealand. Wow! But before we proceed, make sure to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Our featured Escolarian is a registered nurse in the Philippines, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and in New Zealand. She is recognized as the Philippine COVID-19 Vaccine Ambassador in New Zealand and a distinguished alumna from CEU Malolos Nursing Department. Escolarians, let's welcome Mrs. Josephine Lucas-De Guzman, or Miss Jai. Hi, Miss Jai!
Hi, kia ora everyone. Magandang gabi po sa lahat na nanonood. Oh, good day. I'm not even sure what time is it. Assalamualaikum sa mga viewers from Saudi Arabia, kung may Escolarian man sa Saudi. And maya pabengi to all my Kapampangan followers and friends. Hello to everyone. How are you, Abby?
I'm good, Miss Jai. How are you?
I'm fine. Galing ako sa work today, so quite stressful due to the COVID pandemic, but it's all good. Okay pa naman.
Miss Jai, somehow we were able to get to know you through your online journal called The Journal of Jai. And there we got to see how you have a lot of different roles in this life. So what better way to go through this conversation than to weave in through these roles so we can get to know your story? How about we start this with a chapter, just like going through a journal, focusing on you being an influencer and an OFW.
Mm-hmm.
So for the first chapter, Miss Jai.
Yes, chapter. Parang book lang talaga to.
Yes po. Parang journal po talaga. You're an online influencer, so you create online contents for your followers. Can you tell us exactly what these contents are and the intention behind producing them?
So basically, Journal of Jai is about the contents. The contents are all about life, anything under the sun really. Like minsan motherhood ang trip kong pag-usapan, so I write something about motherhood, sometimes about nursing and health education. Sometimes simple yung pagluluto lang. So it's really everything and anything. I mean, I don't wanna set a limit on what are the things I could not and could write. Kasi I was brought up as a writer eh. Since bata ako, mahilig akong mag-join sa mga contest, kanya mga writing contest. Like, so, parang sa mga, in that way, yung contents ko are more of educating other people through the write-ups that I do and the vlogs I do. Pag hindi ako nasa mood, I don't write. So, yung mga nakikita po ninyo sa Journal of Jai and the contents itself, talagang pinag-isipan ko. But then again, it's randomly coming into me and then I just write on the spot and then post it on my page.
Can you share with us, Miss Jai, about the Journal of Jai? How did it start? And what was it like in the beginning and how it is in the present?
Actually, Abby, Journal of Jai started as a website. So, meron akong website before, which is www.journalofjai.com, which is defunct na siya last week lang. Kasi parang yung mga contents ko doon are basically what I place on the Journal of Jai Facebook page and the YouTube channel as well. So, yung website ko, I have decided na stop yung website ko na Journal of Jai and then migrated everything to the Facebook page, which is also Journal of Jai. So, nagsimula lang siya out of I really wanted to write and share all my thoughts to everyone as much as I can. So yun, nag-start lang siya as a website. Ngayon, wala na nga yung website. Nag-decide ako plastic lang talaga to. Tapos, dahil mas active ako sa Facebook, mas marami ako na-reach out through my Facebook page. That's where I put all my contents dito sa New Zealand. And then, somehow sa YouTube, nag-try din ako. Yun nga lang kasi sa YouTube, ang hirap mag-edit and all. So parang, mas madali magsulat talaga and just talk and talk and talk. So I would prefer talaga mas prefer ko talaga naman yung Facebook page ko na Journal of Jai.
So, Miss Jai, no, ask ko lang po, kahit before po ba, nag-keep po talaga kayo ng journal? Like yung actual journal and you always
may
write your
diary
thoughts?
ako. If you would come to our house in Pampanga, meron ako mga notebook na talagang kinikip ko nung bata ako. Parang sulat ka doon tapos you will write, parang may kausap ka, Dear Diary. Meron talaga ako noon. Actually, marami ako nun. Siguro, parang isang cabinet sila sa Pampanga na sobrang daming diaries. Nandun lahat mga secrets ko, mga hinaing ko sa buhay, drama, ganon. And I think that's a good, good reminiscing of the past. At tagal ko lang kasi hindi umuwi. Pero nasa bahay pa naman sila. Nga lang, doon na nag-start. Siguro, doon nga nag-start. Kasi, it's a diary, and a journal is basically a diary. It's just an online this thing. But then, handwritten yung nandun. So, pag nawala ako, may mga handwritten journal ako sa Pampanga.
Kaya po, actually, Miss Jai, nakaka-relate din po ako kasi mahilig din po ako before mag-Dear Diary.
Oo.
So, as an influencer, Miss Jai, have you always seen yourself vlogging? Like, college ka pa lang po ba, ginagawa mo na siya? Or was it always your thing?
Well, in regards with vlogging, hindi talaga. Pero I'm more of an extrovert person kasi like, since grade school, high school, and then uni, college, nagtutok na ako. I mean, more of hosting sa mga events, like MC, ganito, sideline, nakitera sa mga fiesta, ganon. So, nag-MC hosting nga. Pero parang, I think it's not more of vlogging. I think it's more of talking and making sure na the people listening to you would have a different life after they listen to you, if you know what I mean. Kasi there are power in words eh. Whatever you say will have an effect to someone. So kung magaling ka magsalita, you have to practice how you say, how you speak, and then you choose the words you say. So yun yung mga feeling ko natutunan ko when I was still younger. Kahit bata pa naman ako. But yeah, I think yun, malaking factor din na since before, is may ginagawa na ako about this vlogging thing. Pero parang practicing lang until I reach this point na nag-vlog na ako ngayon dito sa New Zealand.
Okay, so go back lang po tayo ulit dun sa being an influencer, Miss Jai. Going back to your content kanina, can you share with us your favorite content you've produced so far? And tell us the story behind that.
Okay, so meron akong 3 things na yung dalawa, I thought of the content. Yung first, pero yung third one, mag-start ako sa third. Kasi I was chosen here in New Zealand to speak our language in the Filipino language about the COVID-19 vaccine. So what I did was, nagbigyan sila ng script sa akin in English, tapos in-edit ko, tin-translate ko into Tagalog, and then I delivered it. And that in my content, I posted in Journal of Jai, and then parang lahat ng mga Pilipino dito sa New Zealand, natuwa sila kasi nga, someone in the minority group here in New Zealand has been speaking the same language. Nagtatagalog ako, like, ang bakuna ay para sa ganito, lahat na may alta presyon, pwede ka magpabakuna and all those stuff. And it really makes a difference kasi nga, sa population ng New Zealand is 70,000 ang mga Pilipino dito sa New Zealand. And it would make a difference to the lives of the minority dito. And that is one of the favorite content that I did here. Kasi nga, it makes me proud. Kasi kinikilala tayo bilang mga Pilipino na sige, i-feature natin yung salitang Pilipino sa New Zealand. And then, pinalabas yun sa mga district health board, which are like, sa bawat probinsya, pinalabas siya sa mga ospital para lang mas ma-reach ang mas maraming Pilipino, which is a good thing. Lalo na sa mga Pilipino na nandito and minsan na homesick sila. Just listening to the words na Pilipino ang nagsasalita sa TV or sa mga commercial, it's just a big thing, di ba? Second would be, siguro yung financial literacy dito. I am really into financial literacy kasi since the COVID hit, marami sa ating mga Pilipino hindi tayo prepared. And that's what I am really sad about kasi nawala ng trabaho, namatayan, or alam mo ba, nagkasakit, tapos wala silang ipon. So, yung the way na paggastos sa pera, I am doing this episodes in my Journal of Jai now, which is about the financial literacy, how to invest or where to invest. Pero hindi ako parang guru, hindi ko yun ang forte ko. So I usually ask other people to share their knowledge para mas maraming tao ang ma-reach natin. Kasi nga, hindi ko naman alam yun eh. I'm still learning. So that's the second thing. And the third siguro is the mental health awareness. Kasi alam naman natin lahat na it's one thing that we have to look after then as a human being. Kasi minsan napapabayaan natin yung sarili natin eh. And kasi natatakot tayo. Yung last episode ko, which is about mental health, has a big impact to all the Filipinos na nanood nung episode na yun. Kasi oo nga no, kasi hindi natin siya pinag-uusapan. At ayaw natin siya pag-usapan. No, we have to talk about it kasi lahat tayo at some point will have this stage of depression, of anxiety, of fear. And that's something we should address. Kasi kung hindi tayo nag-function ng maayos mentally, how could we function well in the community, in the society, in the family, di ba? So it all starts in ourselves and how we think about all this stuff. So yun yung mga favorite content ko as of now sa Journal of Jai ko.
Nakakatawa naman, Miss Jai, kasi parang all your contents, napansin ko, it really helps the society. Being an OFW naman po, being an OFW, does blogging help with homesickness?
Because it does help. Kasi ang hirap mamuhay sa ibang bansa na hindi mo kasama yung pamilya mo. And the least thing na gustong ma-feel namin living abroad is isolation alone and don't have anyone to talk to. So, nung kasing nasa Saudi ako, it's one thing na naranasan namin ng asawa ko is iba yung community. Para kang secluded. And I don't want other people or other Filipinos na maramdaman nila yon kasi it's very hard. Masisiraan ka talaga ng ulo pag wala kang naririnig na nagtatagalog, pag puro ibang tao naririnig mo, tapos hindi ka makaride or you can't even understand what they're saying. And so, for me, it's one of the therapy that I do like kasi nga at least kahit pa 1 hour lang yung mga vlogs ko, I do know na I reach other people and it does help with my homesickness as an OFW.
Knowing po, Miss Jai, no, na it's really hard to live abroad, knowing the struggles that you may face, why did you choose to pursue life overseas?
I was brought in a family that my parents, my dad worked abroad for like 25 years. Tapos, sa Saudi Arabia din siya. So, I grew up without basically a dad figure kasi yung mama ko yun nagpalaki sa amin. Kasi yung daddy ko nga is nag-work for us to live. Tapos, sa family namin, I mean, siguro sa Pampanga, ganun. Sorry mga Kapampangan, pero I do think tama ako dito kasi parang sinasabihin nila sa'yo, ay, magandang tumira sa Amerika. Yan. Or baka sa inyo din, I'm not sure. Pero ganun kasi brought up sa amin, sa family namin na pag pumunta ka sa ibang bansa, mas okay yung magiging buhay mo. Makakabili ka ng mga Barbie, alam mo yun, makaka-travel ka. Yan yung mga bagay na hindi ako nagkaroon when I was younger. I don't have, yung mga kaklase ko, meron silang mga, ano ba yung watch na sikat noon na wala ako. Tapos marami silang mga Barbie, wala ako niyan. Tapos parang sabi ng parent, ng mama ko, pag nag-abroad ka, mabibili mo lahat yan. So parang I think it was instilled to me na pag nag-abroad ka, mas okay yung buhay mo. Naalala ko sabi ng mama ko na pag nag-abroad ka, your life will be better at para sa mga anak mo. Which I do think, I still do believe na siguro nga. Kasi when my mom died, di ba lagi ako binabalikan yung mama ko kasi it's really a heartbreaking story for me. It's like my most sad moment in my life. Alam mo yung magka-cancer siya tapos don't have money para magpapagamot. Tapos pumipila yung ate ko sa mga tao para bigyan kami ng pera, pampakimo niya. And that's really hard. Pero dito sa New Zealand, pag nagkasakit ka, covered. I mean, don't have to pay anything. Gagamutin ka, libre ang healthcare. Mga anak mo, libre sa school unless decision mong ilagay sila sa private school. Sobrang laking difference. And I do think na, oo, siguro tama nga si mother kasi tawag ko kay mother. Oo, siguro si mother na mag-abroad is better and living abroad is better than the Philippines or than living in the Philippines. Ayun.
Miss Jai, no, for those na mga gusto ding mag-live abroad or in New Zealand, like mga Kapampangan, mga Escolarians, what advice or advices could you give to other OFWs or those who are wanting to work overseas?
First thing should be, what is your goal? You always go back in everything you do, mga kababayan, mga Escolarian, mga students, mga nanonood sa atin ngayon. You always go back to what's in your heart and what is your goal. Kasi kung ano yung goal mo, it will guide you and it will direct you to the right place. Kung ang goal mo is like build a business, if it's easier for you to stay in the Philippines, then do that. If goal mo is makatravel around the world pero hindi kaya ng sahod mo sa Philippines, then go abroad. Pero dapat, when you make a decision, buo yung loob mo kasi there's no turning back. In saying that, time, you can't buy back time. Once you spend time deciding and knowing what you want, you go for it or not go at it at all. So you decide yourself what you want to do and you do it with your whole heart. Kahit marami nagsasabi na don't do it, kung alam mo sa sarili mo you want to do it, you know what you want, just do it. Yun siguro yung masasabi ko sa mga nanonood sa atin ngayon or nakikinig.
Miss Jai, parang natatamaan natin. Miss Jai, parang kailangan ko ata ng lakas ng loob. Buong puso. Naniniwala ko.
It's very hard.
Miss Jai, kidding aside, sobrang, I agree po, na kailangan talaga buo yung loob mo. Kasi there's no turning back. And I like that, Miss Jai. Ang galing po doon.
Thank you. I'll miss you.
Now, for our next chapter, let's talk about your role from being a daughter to being a mother. You're very passionate about your advocacy on breast cancer awareness. And I believe that's because of your mom and what she had to go through. Would it be okay to share that story with us?
Yes, of course. Always happy to share all the experiences that I had. Kasi nga, you can't even reach out to other people if you haven't gone through so many things in life. Na-diagnose yung mama ko with breast cancer when I was in grade school. Naalala ko yung araw na yon na pumunta lang siya sa doktor tapos out of, curious lang siya. Pina-check up lang niya yung lump sa dede niya and then the doctor said it might be malignant or cancerous. So, pina-check niya a week after or two, nasa stage 2 cancer, breast cancer na siya. So, my mom had to go mastectomy. Yun po yung tatanggalin yung breast. And then, I was still very young at that point. And the first question that came into my mind was, am I going to lose my mom? And breast cancer really hit me kasi nga, parang feeling ko minsan, kung walang breast cancer, sana kasama ko pa yung mama ko. Alam mo yon, there were so many times na pag getting of cards, tapos hindi siya makakasama kasi nga nasa chemotherapy siya or there are moments na may mga contest, tapos awarding, pero hindi siya makakapunta kasi of the thing. Tapos you would see her vomiting because of the side effects of the chemotherapy, and then there was like makakalbo siya, like malalagas yung buhok. Everything you see is just real and it's just in front of you and you can't close your eyes kasi nandyan, mama mo yun eh. So I'm really passionate about breast cancer and the awareness about it kasi I know the hardships that people are undergoing when they have this thing. I saw it with my mom and I do pray na wala sa ating mga kababaihan ang dumanas ng pinagdaanan ng mama ko, which is, I think, more of health education. Paano natin malaman kung may lump ka sa dede? How do you check yourself? Or what are the things that make you high risk sa breast cancer and all those things? So talagang advocacy ko rin talaga yung breast cancer. So I started doing the breast cancer awareness here in New Zealand as well. Yung parang meron kasi dito pink ribbon yung tawag ng Pink Ribbon is like a foundation or a movement here in New Zealand kung saan you will dress in pink, everything will be in pink, tapos mag-invite ka over ng mga tao. And then they would chip in, like magbibigay sila ng pera para doon sa pinrepare mong food na puro pink, ganyan. And then all the money that you would be getting, you would give to that foundation. And I am really into that thing as well. Para lang, kasi breast cancer doesn't choose a race, even gender. May mga lalaki nagkakaroon. But then it's the least I could do kasi nga I lost my mom. And I know now with, kahit maliit na halaga lang, I know it would benefit the research, the medication, or the people who are in need of that help.
Grabe, Miss Joy, nakaka-inspire na tumulong, no? Nung nakikinig po ako sa answer niyo, parang when you really experience yung ayaw mo ma-experience na ibang tao, you will do anything and everything that you can to prevent that. And I like that, Miss Joy, kasi sobrang nakita ko din po yung compassionate heart niya.
Thank you.
So, my follow-up question is, how did your mom and her previous experience and situation shape you as a person? And how did that help you now that you're a mother yourself?
I think the best thing that ever happened to me as a daughter and then turned into mother is you do what's best for your daughter and to your family. Hindi lang as a daughter kasi as a wife na din. I know my mom did very well raising us as her kids. And I'm pretty sure mahirap for her because we are 5 and siya lang mag-isa while my dad was working abroad. And my dad was supporting us financially. One of the things siguro na talagang hindi ko makakalimutan, and everyone, I think, my closest friends would know, is my mom trained me how to be independent in almost everything. Naalala ko na pag may pupuntahan, may bibilhin, may gagawin, sabi niya, kaya mo yan, kahit wala ako, kaya mo yan. Parang, basta paglakasan ng loob, kaya mo yan, kahit wala siya. I think she was training me for that day na alam niya, hindi niya alam, pero hindi ko din naman alam. Pero she knew all along siguro na I need to be independent because if I'm not, I would lose it. I would lose my sanity. Siguro babalo talaga ako kasi nga nawala yung pinakamahalagang tao sa buhay ko at that time. And now, as a mother, tinitrain ko yung mga anak ko being independent and being compassionate to each other and having that responsibility with the society as well. Kasi si Gary and si Tony, my daughters, they really love people as well. I mean, they're also people person. They love being with people. And I teach them na the good and the bad. Kasi as parents, that's what we want. We want them to grow up as a good citizen of this world. And that's what I really want. Kasi alam ko in myself na yung mom ko, ni-raise niya ako to be the best that I could be. And that's what I'm passing on to them without the added extra pressure. Ayun. Ayun.
Miss Joy, actually nabanggit niyo po na you raise your children with compassionate heart, and independence. My follow-up question is, what was it like being a mother to 2 daughters while raising them in a foreign country? Mahirap in a sense na kasi iba yung kinalakhan ko sa kakalakhan nilang environment. So they have to adapt. I have to adapt. Alam mo yun, iba yung environment. Tapos the way they talk, the way they act, it's very different. Kasi sa Pilipinas din, parang tsinelas pag galit, diba? Parang papaluin ng tsinelas or kung ano man mahawakan ng magulang mo. Pero hindi naman ako napahawak. Pero di ba kasi sa Pilipinas, normal yun, palo-palo na yan. Pero dito kasi, just a bit of spanking on hitting your daughters or your children, pwede ka nang kasuhan. Iba talaga yung way nila sa way natin. And it's really hard. Pero I think I'm getting the good grasp of it kasi nasa healthcare system ako. So parang alam ko naman yung mga tama at hindi. And I know in my heart that I'm doing it really well at this point. Yun nga lang, minsan kasi sa amin dalawa ni Charlie, yung husband ko, ako yung more of lenient lang na parang okay lang yan, hayaan mo sila kasi bata pa sila. Pero si Charlie is a very strict dad. And I think doon kami nagbabalance ng asawa ko in that sense. But it's hard, pero it's good. Kasi nga, as a Filipino mother in New Zealand, sila mga Kiwi na sila. Kasi dito na sila lalaki. I'm sure na kaya naman siguro nilang i-infuse in each other yung 2 different background and ethnicities and culture. And I'm excited of whatever the future may bring, kahit na magkaiba sila mga Southeast Asian living in New Zealand, di ba? But I'm excited on how it would turn out.
Yun.
Gusto ko lang po sabihin, Miss Jane, na ang galing niyo po.
Salamat.
I mean, parang every mom living as an OFW deserves praise po talaga.
I would say sa lahat ng mga nanonood sa atin or Escolarian or even non-Escolarian na nanonood sa atin, the most heartbreaking thing would be a mom or a dad going overseas and leaving the children, the family in the Philippines. And I've seen it a lot of time kasi when I was in Saudi, kakapanganak lang, 3 months, iiwan yung anak nila sa Pilipinas, tapos pabalik na sa Saudi kasi nga mag-work, parang yun yung source of income nila. And so iniisip ko ngayon, hindi ko talaga kayang gawin yon. Parang saludo ako sa mga magulang na kaya nilang iwan at gagawin lahat nila para sa mga anak nila. Ayun, saludo po ako sa inyo.
Ako din po. Saludo po ako sa inyo. For our last chapter in this episode, Miss Jai, I want to get to know your story as an Escolarian nurse. So you're from CEU Malolos Nursing Department, and now you are a practicing nurse at a private healthcare facility in New Zealand. Mm-hmm. Are you a full-time nurse, and how are you now in the field of nursing?
Yes, I am a full-time nurse. I work Monday to Friday, which is 9 to 5 shift. It's not a shifting work because I do clinics. So I have clinics and then I do some health education. I did emergency nursing. I did orthopedics and plastics, and I did some preceptorship. I did education, and I am now a practice nurse. And I think I am where I am more at home. Kasi it's more of talking to people and their health and how they would manage their health and lifestyle in that sense. Kasi at this point, kulang kasi tayo, mga tao, sa mga paalala, sa mga education, na masyado nating iniisip, ano kaya ang gamot para dito? Ano kaya magandang take para dito? So, we are trying to reach as many people as we can para hindi tayo dumating sa point na gamot na lang lagi and it's becoming a system. It's becoming a part of our life na minsan, we forget na kaya naman na walang gamot. So why not? Dito kasi sa New Zealand, we are trying our best na as much as possible, less medications and more of the natural thing. Like you walk, you do biking, you go outside. If you want vitamin D, andyan ang sun. If you want fluids, well, there's water. So parang minimake sure ng mga tao na hindi tayo sa mga supplements lang, sa mga gamot lang umaasa. So as a practice nurse, I'm happy where I am, and I'm okay. I'm doing okay at this point. So yeah, as a practice nurse, I'm good.
Can you briefly take us back to your college life as a nursing student in CEU?
When I was in CEU Malolos, I've built a good relationship with my clinical instructors as well, the professors. So the experience was hindi mababayaran ng pera. Siyempre, kahit, the people around me helped me to become who I am. Kasi naalala ko at that time, dahil nga may sakit si mother, nagkikimo siya, bumalik yung cancer niya. My dad had to go back to the Philippines from Middle East. Ang hirap ng buhay noon. At naalala ko, when I was in CEU, alam mo yung kumakain lahat kayo magkakabarkada tapos hintayin mo na lang sila matapos tapos yung hindi nila maubos hingin ko. I was that person. So parang okay lang kasi friends ko sila, kabarkada ko sila. I mean, okay naman sa kanila tapos minsan lilibre nila ako. I am happy with that. Kasi parang kaya nila, afford nila eh. Hindi ako lumaking mayaman, I would say. Hindi ako lumaki ng lahat ng gusto ko nabibili ng magulang ko. Simple lang. I mean, all the necessities were given to me. Alam mo yun, parang ang requirement kasi at that time is computerize yung mga reports or yung mga, alam mo yun, mga reflection paper. Parang lahat sila nagpapasa ng computerize. Wala naman akong computer, wala din ako laptop. Tapos ang mahal ng pa-print dun sa tapat, sa tapat ng CEU Malolos. And I ended up, like, lahat sila talaga nakaprint ako, handwritten lang yung, ang pangat pa na sulat ko. Pero masaya naman ako kasi at least binabasa talaga ng professor ko kasi pagbalik sa akin ng papel, kahit handwritten, okay yung grade ko and I'm happy. So, maraming experiences na hindi mo makakalimutan kasi masaya. There was the heartbreak, ano mo yun, mga away-away, mga boyfriend-girlfriend. And si Charlie, my husband, I met in CEU Malolos. So parang, kung hindi ako nag-CEU Malolos, hindi ko siya makikilala. We were actually batchmates. So that's a good thing, di ba? Kasi kung hindi dahil doon, wala akong Charlie, wala akong Gary and Tony. So yeah.
Oh, nabuo po pala yung love story niya sa CEU Malolos.
Oo, nako, matinding life story.
Earlier, I've mentioned that you are not just a registered nurse in the Philippines, but also in Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and New Zealand. What did you do to accomplish that? And was it hard doing it?
Yung mga pinagdaanan ko to become like a nurse in Saudi Arabia, to become a nurse here, is studying and making sure you aim for the requirements. Kasi like IELTS, my exam, written exam, listening exam, and all those exams na kailangan mong ipasa para lang makakuha ka ng license doon. And I think, I'm sure naman, yung mga nurses sa Pilipinas, kayang-kaya naman nila, especially yung mga graduate na CEU. Kasi nga, we were trained well, and our education is really good. So, you just have to make sure na, oo, mahirap, but you will do something about it.
Miss Jai, dami ko tutunan sa inyo, Miss Jai.
Oh. Thank you. Buti naman. Kasi baka wala kang matutunan. It will break my heart. Abby.
Miss Jai, ang dami. Parang ang daming quotable quotes. Na kailangan kong ilagay dun sa journal ko.
Sige, send mo sa
Journal of Abby na po yung gagawin. Journal of Abby na po yung content ko. Joke lang, ma'am. Pero, ito po, meron po akong follow-up question po, no? You were recognized as the Philippine COVID-19 vaccine ambassador in New Zealand. What are the responsibilities associated with that role?
With that recognition, actually, it was an award was given, or recognition was given with my previous employer, which is the County's Manukau District Health Board. Kasi nga, if you remember by the start of our talk, is translate ko yung script about COVID-19 and the vaccine and how it would reach as many Filipinos as it can dito sa New Zealand. Actually, yung video na yun na-featured in Kapampangan version eh. Kasi someone from Pampanga watched it and then ayun, feature nila yun. Pero Kapampangan version. So, in that sense, I think it's just not really in New Zealand. Kasi gusto ko na if it's evidence-based practice and if it's scientifically proven, and as a nurse, I would really go for something na pinag-aralan, then I go for it. Maraming mga conspiracy theories, and okay, that's okay, kasi part ng life yun eh. But then, that's where doctors, nurses, scientists comes in. Kasi you would believe more of a person with a healthcare background than someone na nanood lang sa YouTube or YouTube degree niya. I mean, you know, you choose the people you believe in. And as a COVID-19 ambassador here in New Zealand, libre lang po yun. Wala po yung bayad from the government or anything. I just did that video talaga. Kasi nga, kailangan ma-reach as many Filipinos as they can dito sa New Zealand. And it's really something na we Filipinos must be proud of. Kasi kinilala yung salita natin dito sa New Zealand.
So, may another question po ako, Miss Jai, no? Mm-hmm. Ang dami yung parang ginagawa. Ang dami yung parang na-achieve, no? How do you balance doing all these things? You know, vlogging while being a mom, and then being a full-time nurse, all at the same time. And what do you think is the character that you need in order to fulfill all these roles?
In balancing everything, I was asked so many times by so many people on how I do it. I'm a mother. Dati, nagsa-sideline pa kami business like cooking. Tapos, I'm a nurse, and then nagpa-facilitate ako ng mga talks or nagpa-facilitate ako ng mga meetups ng mga Filipino. Tapos, basta ang daming nangyayari. I really do believe na kung passion mo ang isang bagay and you're dedicated about it, you would live it. I mean, you do it just because it's part of yourself and you wanted to help other people. You want to reach as many as you can. Kahit minsan it's so tiring. Sometimes it keeps you going kasi you look forward to that day na mas marami kang taong matutulungan and you pass the kindness on. Kasi nung dumating ako dito sa New Zealand, nung ako pala mag-isa, nung wala pa sila Garrett, si Tony, tapos si Charlie naiwan sa Saudi, there are so many Filipinos na tumulong sa akin. Wala akong kama, wala akong unan, wala akong pambili ng pagkain. Tapos tumulong sila. And I think yung tulong nila sa akin made a lot of difference. Kasi kung ano yung ginawa nila sa akin, I am passing the kindness on. Kung walang tutulong sa ibang tao, sino tutulong sa kanila? Kasi kung hindi nila ako tinulungan, wala ako sa kanilalagyan ko ngayon. You know? So parang, yun. I do it because I love what I do. I know that I've got a purpose on helping out other people and by reaching them through my vlogs, kahit na minsan boring yung content, but that's okay. Sabi ko nga sa'yo at the start, one person is still one person. And I'm happy to do a vlog just for that person. Kasi tao pa din yun and that's still alive. Second is, I was taught, there was this person, si Pastor Eric Fernandez, he told me na when you do something, you always do it with excellence. Kasi God always wanted the best of you. Nothing else. So, kahit nagluluto ka lang dyan, kahit nagsusulat ka lang dyan, kahit sinusuklayan mo lang yung buhok ng anak mo, you do it with excellence. With excellence, you do it excellently. Laging excellence yung parang nasa utak ko, like, in everything you do it. It might not be perfect, pero you give it with all your heart. You give it the best that you can kasi that's what God deserves. I mean, alam ko it's more of religion, pero this is what keeps me going, really, is that everything you do it for His greater glory.
Thank you so much, Miss Jai, and I agree with your message to all our Escolarians. And I just want to also share that each and every one of us can really make a difference. So thank you so much, Miss Jai, for being with us. Thank you so much for agreeing to this interview. Thank you so much for sharing your experiences and learnings to our Escolarians and also to us.
Always
thank you, Miss Jai.
Thank you, Abby. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Jai. Bye.
Bye.
And that's a wrap. Do you have someone in mind that you want to be featured in our show? You can comment their name and what topics you want us to discuss with them, and we'll surely get on that. Itutuloy natin ang kwentuhan with Miss Jai sa ating podcast episode on Spotify next week. So be sure to check that out. See you in our next episode, Escolarians. Again, Abby here, and this is CEU Friday Features.